We are a little under 2 months away from Election Day in North Carolina. This November's ballot will include races for U.S. Senate, U.S. Representatives, state offices like judges and state Congress members, and some county offices as well. What's not on the ballot? President. But UNCG political science professor Tom Little says it's still important to vote.
Given that the Senate is evenly divided, this, like any race, can make the difference between who has the majority and who doesn't. And even if you're not voting for the president in the presidential race, what the president can get done will be heavily determined by that Senate balance. A shift of, I think, 6 seats in the House and literally 1 in the Senate will change the entire dynamics of politics in this country for the next 2 years. So it is critical, regardless of where you stand, which party you're supporting, it is critical that you get out there and vote. That's what democracy is all about.
With that in mind, we want to make sure you are ready to vote this fall. Guilford County Board of Elections Director Charlie Cullicutt is here with us. He's answering all of your questions ahead of the November midterm. So, okay, let's get right into it. I'm getting some more questions. One viewer says, I am a new resident to North Carolina from Pennsylvania. Been here for 8 months. Can I vote here in this election?
Yes, you can. If you're living here now and you've been here and you'll be here for more than 30 days prior to November 8th, you are eligible to vote in Guilford County. So just fill out the registration form that we've talked about and you will be just fine.
All righty. And then our next question that we just got in says, how can we request mail-in ballots?
Yeah, great question. There are forms that voters can print off of our website. There is an online portal that is linked to on our website, and any voter can request an absentee ballot for themselves or a near relative, or if they're assisting somebody that's disabled. So, or you can come into our Board of Elections office and request. But it is a system where you have to make this request on this official form first before we can send you the ballot.
Okay, so I do want to revisit some questions for some of our viewers that might just be joining the conversation now. So let's go back over some important dates. When can you vote absentee?
Yeah, absentee voting is going on right now. We've been sending out ballots now for a little while, and we will continue to receive requests and mail ballots out as soon as we get those requests processed. That deadline to request is going to be November 1st at 5 p.m. I would recommend not waiting until November 1st to make that request for a ballot, but certainly you can make that request right now.
Okay. And what about early voting?
Yeah, early voting is going to begin on October 20th, and it's going to go nearly every day all the way up until November 5th, and we're going to have 15 locations across the county that any voter can go to.
And when do you need to register to vote?
Yeah, the registration deadline is October 14th at 5 o'clock, or postmarked by that day. If you miss that deadline, try to hit the deadline, but if you miss that deadline, there are some options only at the early voting sites though.
And here's a question. What are some common hurdles that people tend to face when it comes to election season?
Yeah, well, one of them is not knowing the candidates and feeling that because you don't know the candidates that you shouldn't go to vote, and I would say that with our sample ballot and with the media and with technology, don't let that be a hurdle. Figure out who you may want to vote for. You don't have to vote for everybody, and go vote. Another one is that you don't know where to vote, and so I would say that we've got some good technology. We've got a good website. We're sending you things in the mail. We're trying to get the early voting sites publicized as much as possible. So really, we want you to be able to find one of the polling places or early voting sites. Those are some of the big ones, and not having the time to do it. But I would say with absentee by mail balloting, with early voting going from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on most days, including some Saturdays and Sundays open, that really you can have the time, you can find the time even if you didn't think you did.
And just to give some clarification for people who might not know, talk about early voting versus voting on election day. When do you have to go to your assigned precinct?
Right, they're very similar once you get inside the door, but getting there is the main difference. Election day voting for this time, November 8th, you got to go to the assigned polling place that we tell you. It's on your card, it's on our website, but that's where you go, that one place on that one day. Early voting is different. There's 15 places across the county. open up until from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And anybody can go to any one of those sites. They're opened up during a 17-day period prior to the election. So there's a lot of days, not as many sites compared to the total number of polling places. But for the voter, they have more options, 15 sites versus the one assigned, and just a lot of time in the day, a lot of time in that 17-day period to go vote early.
Well, thank you so much, Charlie. You provided us with a lot of helpful information as we approach this upcoming election. Thank you so much for your time this evening. If you missed any of this information, you can find it all on our website in the Two Wants to Know section.